Hello everybody and welcome to my first ever LEGO review. Today we have Kopaka Nuva, set 8571, and he was very first released in 2002, so I'm starting to feel very old, but when he was released, he was only $7.99 here in the States, and since then, if you have one, his price has gone up drastically, close to $50, especially if it's new, and if it's sealed and new in perfect condition, some people might pay close to $100 for it. But Kopaka is my favorite Toa. He's a Toa of Ice, and as the Toa of Ice, he has his trusty shield, and he has his two ice ski poles that double as ice blades. He also has the Kanohi, which allows him to have X-ray vision. Now let's get into his actions. Now the cool thing about the Toas, especially the older Toa, is how they have gear functions. These gear functions go through the arms and allow them to make movements. Such as with Kopaka, he only has one movement, which is just his right arm, while his left arm is static, carrying the shield. And here is said movement in action. Kind of goes back and forth. You can flip it all the way around, but it just looks really awkward. Here's Toa Kopaka with his nice ski poles now, or skis, right down here, and of course over here. The cool thing about this is that now he can ski, so you can imagine him going over the snow and such as this. Only awkward thing about it is that his non-moving arm holding the shield, it just feels awkward. Now, an easy thing to remedy this is something that I did when I was a kid. Here's my answer. I took off the Technic pin on the back, and as you can see it's kind of flimsy, but you take off the pin and put the shield back there. It sometimes works, it sometimes comes off when you just barely touch it, but it does make him look a little bit more mobile. As you can tell, the difference in using this arm does affect how he looks as an overall figure, but you know, you don't necessarily need symmetry to make an interesting character, especially since his whole thing has circles, so he has the circle shield and the circle X-ray eye. It just kind of blends in with him. Lastly, Kopaka does have a very nice blue coloration in his skull, which of course won't show up near as good as it does in person with the certain lightings that you can use behind it, but even though he only has one eye stalk hole that you can actually see through it, it does give off a great illusion of the icy cold personality inside. Let's try to see if we can change the light to get the blue. Yep, there you see it. Lastly, we have the instructions, because as a child I was an idiot and threw away the box, but what's really cool about these instructions is that it gives a combo model at the end. No, that's not the camera playing tricks on you. They actually went from black to a weird white for the instruction manual here, and that's the combo model that you can use at the end, which uses Liwa, Gali, and Kopaka, and it just starts you off on instruction book 8 because they're expecting you to buy all of them. Which is pretty neat. So now that leads us to the final grade for 8571 Kopaka Nuva, and I have a few metrics here that we can measure it by, and then by the end of it, when I review a ton of sets, it will be like Top Gear, and we have all the sets listed. So value, piece per price, 5 out of 10. It had a lot of unique pieces. There are no more Bionicle pieces, so technically it could be valued higher. Its playability, 8 out of 10. It's got gears. It's a character. It's fun. Knock off his mask, you can move his stuff around. Build, interesting. Not anything extreme. Above average, though. Minifigures, since the set doesn't have any minifigures, and since it's a Toa, I'm going to give it a character trait, 8 out of 10. So he's a fun character. And display-wise, not that bad. You can't put him in too many poses, but he looks good in the poses you can put him in. Now, yes, 36 out of 50 gets a C-, but he's technically number 1 right now.